Alright, I am back, and we're going to continue our refactoring so that we can have a local server and client. So we did the client, and I'm pretty happy with that. So let's do the server. So let me think of how we're going to handle this. Server itself has these event. Yep. I don't know about this guy. Should he be just listening? If I look at the... Yeah, I think it's fine. Alright, I'm cool with that. Um, Pool, sorry, yep, so all that's great. So on accept it, you're going to say on accept it, connect it. On disconnect it, yep, unsubscribe and connect it. Alright, so cool, that's exactly what I wanted. So the base is basically unsubscribe and then do the event. That is awesome. Alright, so here, what I'm going to do is, oh, let me do one thing. Command server, we're going to name you TCP command server. Yes, please. Save and close. Okay, so we have TCP command server. Now let's go ahead and add a new item called local. Local command server. And then we're going to have something in between called command server. Command server. Okay, and so command server is going to be public, and it's going to extend. No, it's going to just extend server, I think. And so, yes. I won't really mess with base server yet. Okay. So yes, that is command server. And then if I do local command server, public, local command server, this is going to extend command server. Okay, so far so good. Sorry, what does local command server do versus TCP command server? Okay, there we go. This is already something it does. So void, let's go override on accepted. Alright, that looks fine and dandy. Alright, so this is the thing. We don't send this. We send sender and E. Or we send a packet. That's what we do. We send a packet. Oh yeah, we do send client socket packet. That's, I think, how we handle it, right? Back to server. Yeah, client socket and packet. Is that how I want to handle it? I guess that really is a good question. I almost want to say, I don't like sending it to the client socket. I kind of want to say client data. Is that okay? I think I'm going to stick with that. Client data. So when we're overriding this on like local server, we just need to make a new client, right? Alright, so this is where it's gonna get tricky, okay? This is what I want to do. Override listen. Alright, so we're gonna need to go to base server. We're going all the way to the beginning. Okay, so listen is just going to do nothing except accept. Base listen and then accept. Okay. Accept is going to do, let's go back to base server. We'll do base accept, no problem. You're going to say on accept it. This pool.pop. Okay. And then we're going to override on accept it. On, oh, is that what I'm doing right now? Okay. So on accept it is going to definitely at the end here e.push or pool.push e. So okay, that's good and different. So a local server is only going to have one local client, is what I'm trying to say. So command packets, telnets, okay. So we go back to base server. What am I doing here? On accept it. Okay, here we go. This is stuff we need to put on. This can almost just be on command server. Maybe even before that. Like server. Or base server. Yeah, this could live on base server. I'm gonna rename you to TCP base server. Yes, please. Save. And I'm gonna make another base server. We'll call it like a client server. And so client server will maintain a list of clients. That's all a client server is going to do. So if I go to TCP base server, yeah, this thing. Okay, let's not do it like this, and let's just say list of client data. What am I doing? Alright, like this. Okay. I'm cool with that. Alright, where's my TCP base server? Okay. So listen, I'm not doing anything. Except I'm not doing anything. On accept it. Here's where we do something. Override on accept it. We're gonna do that. Alright, so if we go to let's just do that. New client data. Um, I'm going kind of deep in here. Base client data. You should really name this base client data too. Alright, so network ID and connected at. These are two things I can keep. Socket, remote endpoint, oh, client state I guess I could keep here. And maybe we just name you server client data. Is that something I can use? But I might already have that. Okay, maybe not. So that's good. Let's go ahead and add a new item. This will just be client data or remote client data. Server client data. And so what remote client data will also include is the socket and the, yeah, those two things. Yes, please see if you can get these things working and this thing working. Alright, cool. So we got remote client data, server client data, so yeah, server client data is great here. Um, So this is what I say, if e.userToken is server client data, then client data equals e.userToken as client data, the big one, server client data. Hey, what's up? Thanks, man. Ah! What did you do, Cortana? Okay, so we got user token, server. Okay, good, good, good. Otherwise, else client data equals new client data. Alright, this is where I'm a little off. That part is fine. This part I might work on a little bit. And then all we do here is client list dot add. Yeah, man. The one thing I'm missing this holiday season is some eggnog. I don't think I have any eggnog this whole holiday season, so I would love to have some of that. That'd make me cheerful today, or tomorrow, whenever I have it. Client list dot client data. Alright, private, or better yet, protect it. So this is the thing. Here, client data. Yeah, no eggnog, man. I haven't had eggnog. It's my favorite. Alright, so what am I doing here? How do I know? I'm trying to think of how this works, because I'm building it the other way. Before I built it server base TCP and then command TCP server. Now I'm trying to go server, just a normal client server. No, there's not necessarily a TCP connection, but a list of client data, and then I don't know. Dude, I would get some eggnog right now, but all the stores are closed, man. It's Christmas. So tomorrow, I'll go get some. Alright, client list.add client data. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, that should be fine. So what am I going to do here? Unaccept it. Is that all I'm going to do? I guess so. Alright, what else are we going to do from server? Or I guess base server. Where's TCP base server? Alright, so on accept it, you add. Okay, no problem. I do like that we're doing this. So that kind of goes with client server, where we're checking the user token, and if it is something we can use, go ahead and use that. Otherwise, we make a new one. Alright, no problem. Let's go look at it. I'm gonna go ahead and make an empty constructor. Network ID equals get network ID, which I'm surprised I haven't implemented in here yet, and connect it at equals, what's it, datetime now? Datetime dot now. Okay. Something like that maybe. Okay, and client state still not logged. Command issue can still be string.empty. Okay, I'm good with all of that. Let's go ahead and implement this get network ID. This is going to be a static, private static get network ID. I feel like I have this somewhere. It might be on the base server. Network, yeah, get next ID. So this is probably better on the server client data. Okay, why don't you turn in a list of, this is what I'm going to have to do, a list of server client data clients, and then go ahead and turn in clients here, and then here server client data clients. So we're just passing in clients, a list of clients, and then you're just gonna go for definitely starting at 1 to 255 if I'm gonna say for each, this is harder, if, what did we say here? Yeah, I gotta get that if network ID exists thing. I need that one too. So this is under client server. Where did I find it? Command server? Next ID? Yeah, okay. So it's not next ID. Oh man, that sucks. If you send me the little YouTube thing, I can request it, I guess. If you just type that in here. Network. What's the name of the thing I'm trying to do? Network ID exists. Network ID exists. Not in here. Where would that be? If it's not TCP command server, then it's probably one back. So let's go to TCP base server. Control F. There we go. Oh yeah, that's where both of them are. Alright, cool. So Control X. I'm going to delete this. And client server. Not where I want this to go. I want this to go to client server data. Okay, you do exist now, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, you should be static though. Alright, so for each client data in clients, if the client data network ID, we could just say client, I guess. In clients, network ID equals B, then return true. Otherwise, return false. Okay. And so, as long as the network ID doesn't exist, you can return I. And then you can say no more IDs available if you get here. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to send the client list over. And there we go. You should get a unique number. Start, the unique lowest number. Okay, so that's great. That was hard. On accepted. Okay, so what's next? We did the base, we did the on accepted here. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know. White background is bad, but you know what? It's what I like. It's what's standard. It's what right when you install it, it's what you get. And I'm not into customizing it right now. But I know for the people that watching me, I know maybe they have their own preferences and wish I could do it in a different one, but I kind of like this. I got used to it. Alright, so get client data. I won't mess with that right now. Alright, so let's server client data, remote client data. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that, right? Um, Alright, so this is me kind of extending that properly, so you have to pass clients. So if you go back to base server, we're not going to make this, this is going to actually have to be remote client data. Remote client data. You're going to have to be remote client data as well. You're going to have to be remote client data as well. Which means, you're going to have to be remote client data. You're going to have to be remote client data. You'll have to be remote client data. You're going to have to be client list dot values. Is that the list of, I'm missing something here. Server client data. No, the other one, remote client data here. Okay, let's make this in base server. I'm gonna make you the other thing. Was it just server client data? Yeah. Alright, you can't change from what? Alright, so that's all good. It's just here. Let's go ahead and say server client. Actually, you don't have to do here. You can do remote client data. Okay. Um, so this is a dictionary. Oh, value collection. Oh, fanboy. He says I should randomly name variables to Christmas names, and that just sounds gonna be so confusing, and I wouldn't want to do that. Client list values. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Client list values. So this is a dictionary list or value collection. The other thing's a list. I wonder if I should say something like IEnumerable or just something else. So, okay, when I go to client server, server client data, instead of this, what if I made this an IEnumerable of this server client data? And then still use an IEnumerable here, and hopefully use an IEnumerable here, and everyone's still okay, right? I think so. Okay. Now, if I go to remote client server, instead of list, let's just make it IEnumerable. And that works. And hopefully, there we go. And now that works too, because it's enumerable. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alright, so remote endpoint, connected at, socket. So all that works just fine now. So let's see, was this a big problem if I had remote client data everywhere? Remote client data, remote client data. Okay, I don't think that's a big problem. Good. You think my idea is dumb? Fight me. Put me up. Can't fight you, dude. Even if I put my hands towards the camera, nothing happens. Yeah. What am I doing here? Just going crazy, I guess. So I'm done with that. I'm done with that. TCP base burst server. Alright. So if I go back to client server, I got the unaccepted, okay? So this is doing something different, and that's fine. New client data. Yeah, I thought this might be a problem. I knew this was going to be a problem. I think I'm going to make this server client data. I think that's the only way you'll actually work with everything. And you two. You know what? I'm gonna make it work. I know you'll be a problem, but this is how I'm gonna handle it. IEnumerable server client data clients equals IEnumerable remote client data well, I don't even have to type that. Client list.values. Alright, so what's the problem here? This is where it's going to give me a problem. Cannot implicitly convert type from that to that. But I feel like I can say as IEnumerable server client data. What's can't cannot convert type dictionary value collection to that via reference boxing. Okay. You can't do it like that. What about just a good old hard converting like this? Alright, so what are you? I want to basically say if I said to array of server client data, would you kill me? Does not contain definition to array. Okay, okay, okay. I'm not worried about it then. So I'm going to say I enumerable derived classes. Yeah, that's kind of, I have a class, yes. So here we go. We're gonna say cast. Oh, okay. I might just do that. .cast. Something like that should work. Okay, okay, let me try that. Close that out. Where's this? So if I said .cast and I said server client data, converts the element of a system enumerable to a specific type. Okay. And then we can just say clients here, right? Okay, cool. That should work. In fact, you probably don't need to do all that. You can just kind of do this. Forget all this. Cool. Alright, I'm learning. That's a nifty trick. Okay, so that's the TCP base server. That's when you make a new remote client data. So that's cool. Alright, good, 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 good. In fact, I might just go ahead and steal you. This will be server client data, new client data. Figured as much. We don't need this function. Okay, I'm happy. Good, 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 good. So we got all this working. I'm happy with that one. Alright, TCP base server is where I need to look at. Alright, so that's all working, I think. Alright, disconnect. It's no longer going to be that. It's going to be like, let's see. Alright, so we definitely want to use remote client data here. So we got remote client data equals that. If you contain key that, go ahead and remove. Let's say this and E. Let me see. I'm okay with all of that. I don't need to do anything special on. Oh yeah, client server. Oh yeah, we kind of need to do that. This stuff here. So basically we say protect it, override, void. It'd be nice just to do it here. Override, disconnect it, on disconnect it. Yeah, let's not do. Let's just do it on the actual disconnect. Override, disconnect. Yeah. So this is how we're gonna roll with this. Base, definitely do the base. There's no. Yeah, so we just say if client list that contains client data. Better yet, wow. Not that this really matters. Client data, client list. What am I saying? Client data. Client list dot remove client data. Okay. So let's remove all instances of client data from here. Socket event E, we'll just pool that pop and on disconnect it, this and E, and then just override oh yeah, you shouldn't call this stuff here. This is just the base. You shouldn't connect them here is what I'm trying to say. So on accept it, you shouldn't be receiving anything. This is just a client server. This is just getting a list of clients. So when you're accepting something, you go ahead and add the client to the list. Gosh, I almost just want to say on disconnect, you do this. Alright, so let that go through. Alright, if, yeah, don't do any of this stuff. I'm just say if that user token is, what's this, client, server client data. E.user token is server client data, then E.user token as client data. Don't even need client data. It's not like that, is it? It's like server client data. Alright, server client data. I'm getting it. E.user token. Alright, cool. Client data. Client data. Alright, that seems pretty good. Okay, so that looks all great and dandy. So on accept it, on disconnect it, what else we need to do? Base server. Yeah, on receive and on send, I don't really think client server needs to do anything here. This is only maintaining a list of clients. So cool, 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 cool. Okay, so I definitely want to make this extend client server. I see that client server might not be as readily available, so let's go ahead and make sure that's the case. Client map, I'm gonna do that. Client map here. Okay. So this works, that works. This is more going to disconnect based on server client data. Let's just see what you got. Yeah, server client data. Okay, all good, all good. So this is how I'm going to handle it. Well, we already got the client data. We're going to say, hey, if you contain client data, you got to do it the other way. If dot values or contains value, client data, cannot convert from server client data. Alright, well, let's make it as remote client data. Remove client data. Let's see, remove, what kind of dot remove. Oh, I think I can still do this. Client data. Oh shoot, what did I do? Close this out. What's happening? Alright, here we go. Let's say remote client data. Our client data equals client data as remote client data. And then all we have to do is just say our client data dot socket, and that's it. Cool. And we can just do that. Key dot socket RCD and yeah, that seems great. Base.disconnect RCD.socket. Okay, that seems cool. And all we got to do here is just say remote client data. Excellent. Oof. All right, getting there, getting there. So this is how I'm going to really handle it. S client data. You're going to be client data, and you'll be S client data. Alright, I like it. Steal this here. And then this is how we'll handle it. S client data. Excellent. And then we'll say contains value. change key, and we can say client data dot socket. Awesome. Okay, don't have to worry about client data because we already got it. On received, yes, all that seems great. Client data, and then we just say client data dot socket. Okay, so that's good with that. Alright, so that is going. So now we're going to say server client data, S client data, and I'm going to take this line of code. Okay. And we will, I don't think there is a, oh yeah, this should have a send, right? Except we'll just say client data. Okay, that seems good. Not that that really matters at which order. Yeah, okay, I'll just do it like that. Okay, packet that get byte, set the buffer. Alright, instead of doing all that, you can just say client data. Excellent. Then we say client data dot sockets. Okay, and for each socket and keys, now we just have to do it the other way. For each remote client data, client data, client data. Okay. Oh, this is not keys anymore. This is going to be dot values. Okay, and on sent we'll just do that. Okay, so that was a little exhausting, but should be done. Alright, so that was the base server. What else is messed up? Oh yeah, this is no longer this. Oh yeah, it is. So what's the error here? Cannot convert type this. Oh, because you are actually a remote client data. That makes sense. Same thing here, remote client data. Value socket. I don't even think we worry about you, do we? Very nice. We don't actually even need client server, huh? Client socket. This is going to be... I'll figure it out, but yeah, we'll come back to this. actually, server, client server. What do I want here? This is server client data. Client data equals E. When I do the TCP base server, when you are making the new get client data, I like that. Alright, I am trying to think of how I want to handle this. Okay, I don't mind you being this. This is what I'm going to try to do. I don't like it. Makes it too hard to read. I'll figure this out. Server client data, server client data. This is kind of throwing my mind in a loop. Get client data. I said you were remote, everyone would be cool with this. Okay. This doesn't need to happen. Those two things need to happen. Okay, I'm cool with this. Not convinced I need to do this yet. Alright, let me just go back to saying this is remote client data, that's remote client data. Alright, I'm not convinced I have to do that yet. Alright, so on accept it, we're either going to see if we are already... So okay, if we're doing a local one versus TCP base one. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm cool here. Equals new server client data. New list of what? Server client data? Or null, I guess. Ah, this is good. This is better. Okay, and then all I'm going to say is e.userToken equals client data. And then send client data, client data. Okay, so that will be for local command server. Alright, get next ID, TCP command server. Okay, so you don't have to assign the network ID yourself. You do have to set the remote endpoint yourself. The connect that at you don't have to do yourself, and the client state, yeah, you have to do yourself. Okay, and this is going to be actually a remote client data, remote client data. We'll go ahead and say you're overriding this. We're going to have to get your client list dot values. Oh, your client map dot values. Actually, your client list wouldn't be too bad. And you should be able to do that even on base server. Is that right? So instead of doing all this crazy casting and everything, just get your client list. Oh yeah, that seems better. Alright, where was I? TCP base server? No, local command server. TCP base server. TCP command server? Oh, I'm just hitting these things. Alright, cool. So yeah, you don't have to do your network. You don't have to do your now. This is going to be your remote. Oh, so this is our telnet server. Okay, no problem. And you'll return that. And that is that. Okay. Oh, and yeah, make sure you turn in your client list. Cool. Good, good, good. Let's keep it going. No suitable methods to override. That's okay. We're going to make this a server client data, S client data. And we can just say remote client data equals S client data as remote client data. Alright, so we got that. We got packet P. Okay, and then all we have to do is just say client data dot sockets and client data dot socket. Oh, actually, not even, right? Just client data. Sometimes don't even need to convert it. There we go. So that looks pretty simple. This will be as remote client data. This will have to be as remote client data. And what else we got? Receive client data. Okay. Yep, you will have to be remote client data. Oh, that one's a different one. So what are you doing with the socket? Okay, so you're just getting clients. So I totally don't mind passing just client data into this. And I just call it server client data client. Sure. Don't worry about that. Yeah, that was easy. Okay. Oof. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to handle it. Client list I. Alright, what did he have? He had, okay, current socket, which I'm not too worried about getting. Let's say values. Server client data. And just say client. I'll figure it out from there. This is the TCP command server, so okay, we won't worry about getting the accepted socket. But alright, if I go look at the I'm looking. Command server. Local command server. Totally making a new server. Client data. So gotta kinda do something like this. But you're gonna be remote, so we're gonna have to say new remote client data. And this is totally gonna be client list. Okay, cool. you're gonna have to extend client server, not just server. Okay, totally using my brain to remember all these different things. So that's okay. Command server. So okay, remote client data equals new remote client data. Client data. Go ahead and send and receive on that client data. Okay, I'm not doing it exactly right, so it should be like telnet server. Nope. Where did I do this? I just did this. Base server maybe? Not base server. Maybe base server. On accepts. Yeah, here we go. So we're getting a client data. If you already have it, cool. If not, then do something. So alright, let's put these two things together. Okay, this should be pretty easy. Remote client data. We'll call it client data equals e.userToken as remote client data. So that's good. We got a packet, telnet, client data. Oh, it should be client data. And everything seems to be working there. Great. Okay, so that's cool. Here's our next error. So this is how I think I'm going to handle it. Don't worry about that. Remote client data equals e.userToken as remote client data. And then finally, just pass those in. Okay, is that... Oh my gosh, so much fixing. And I don't even know if I fixed anything or everything yet. Might have to do one more round of just looking through it, just to make sure it all works. Alright, been an hour and 20. Not bad, not bad. Let me go here. Alright, let me just check the server. So server base is this. Close all but this. What about our program? Which one are we using? Command server program? We're using TCP command server program. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so we have server. All it does is make a pool. Has these empty functions. And each of these ons is just going to unsubscribe from the event and run the event. So cool, that is server. Now we're going to have a client server. So a client server is an extend server, and the only difference it does here is it it basically runs the on acceptance and then adds the client. Actually, I should do this afterwards, right? It doesn't really matter at this point. Does it? Maybe. Yeah, it does. Alright, so it's okay. If it already exists, then just you add it, you assign client data, and you'll add it to the list. Otherwise, alright, so I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Okay, so if you, on the accepting of the connection, whether it's remote, whatever it is, it's going to check if it's existing already in the user token. If it is, great, pass it in. Otherwise, you're going to make a new one and get a number for it. And then you're going to put this in user token such that you can add whichever one of these, and then you can send it to the previous one, which will hopefully be okay. Alright, great. So that makes sense. And then on disconnect it, yeah, go ahead and pass it in, and you're going to check if it's disconnected. Okay, if E is that, just remove it all, and it's all good. Okay, so that makes sense. That looks good. So that is the client server. So we got the server, client server, and now the next one that extends this will be TCP base server? Yes. So okay, this one's going to be a little more in-depth. So we're going to have a dictionary of sockets to remote client data. So remote client data is like client data, except it has a socket and a IP address. So we get the IP address. So that's fine, and then we start listening. Okay. And then we start accepting a connection. So accepting a connection, we get one of the event args, start accepting the connection, that's great. And then once you do accept it, we're going to go ahead and create a new client data, add that client data to the map, and then and the reason we're doing this first as opposed to getting it from here is because we really want to get a remote client data as opposed to a regular client data. So if I go here to client server one more time, this is going to be just a regular server client data. And we want the remote server client data because we need the socket and everything. Okay, so anyway, so you do that first, then you go on accept it. So when you do that, you come here, and you'll already be in the user token, so we'll just pop that in client data. All right. Then you'll push that back, and then you'll start accepting again. Excellent. All right, otherwise, we can say get client data. Oh, we're going to check if it exists in the map already. Otherwise, we make a new one. Okay. I'm gonna look at command server kind of in the same light here. Oh no, not this one. TCP command server. Alright, so TCP command server. We're gonna basically run this. Okay, so we're gonna get this remote. Oh, sorry. Yeah, unaccept it. See, my only problem with this is we're pushing it back already to be used again, so I don't like that part of it. I feel like this has to be at the top. I mean, no, I don't feel like this has to be at the top. I feel like I'm gonna have to... I'm thinking. When do we run this the base function? When do we do this one? That's kind of where my mind is kind of stuck at right now. Alright, so here it's creating everything and pushes E back and we accept it. Oh, okay, so instead of getting it from here, you know where we should get it from? Not remote. We should be getting it from, this is what we can get. We can get the client socket equals e.accept socket, and then we should be able to get this from client list. Nope, the other one, client map, client socket. There we go. I think we don't even need to awesome cast it. So there we go. And that all looks perfect. Great, great, great. On received, I think that's okay. Let's keep going through the base server. Okay, so get client data. That looks fine. Disconnect looks fine. So we're just getting client data. Oh, we're getting the socket, yeah. And then, yep, all that seems good. Oof, my mind is turning to mush. Let me see what happens if I run this. Oh, I didn't even check if there's errors. I was hoping there might not be, maybe? It ran. It's accepting connections. That's not too much because it's just the first command. So let's see what happens. Client. Ooh. I love it when I see a send and a receive. So okay, server sent that and I got this. So if I say 1337, logged in successfully still. Awesome, awesome. Everyone's still working just fine. Heartbeat should be coming any second now. There we go. Heartbeat. Let's go to game mode. Start hitting some keys. Excellent. I'm going to exit game mode. Oops, Q's to exit game mode. And then just test here. Awesome. Hello there. Enter does nothing. And then get wrecked should give me something else. Heartbeat and then exit. And then I'm done. Cool. That looks great. So I'm going to close this out. You didn't get the net memo that the client disconnected. I'll just say kill all clients. Clients without that. There are no clients. Okay. Awesome. I'm closing that out. There's a few bugs that I need to fix, and it's going to take me some more time. So before I finish this up, let's go ahead and go here. And let's copy this episode. Trying to make hierarchy of server, client server, and then X server, local X server, and remote, or we'll say TCP X server, TCP X server. And kind of the same thing here. Trying to make hierarchy clients. X client, local X client, and local TCP X client. And so that's kind of the format I want to make. Is there anything else I kind of need to look at here? Eesh, I'm just tired. So I'm gonna just commit this. Okay, that is all I have for tonight. I will definitely continue this onwards in the next couple of days, and if I can get this refactoring done, we can start, especially the local part, we can start testing it in Unity. So alright everybody, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.